Pino. Ahora es nuevo.
Right now, this is not working for me as a teacher and educator and someone who cares about you and your learning. The complete lateness that we're showing at this point. So what are we going to do about this? So I have to stay with you during my break time?
No,
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what is causing you all to not be responsible? What is causing you to not be responsible? You have to know. I don't accept I don't know. I know you don't normally not late. Those of you who are late, so like you guys were in the room. What's going on?
No, but I was picking up the picture outside.
You couldn't see the clock?
No, I
Didn't look at it. So what is causing you to be irresponsible? What are the causes? But we got to play during our brain break.
We lost illusion of time. Like we lost illusion of time, and we don't know what time it is. We are so happy. We see our need of play.
Like, I'm trying to respect you all and give you time to play because I know you need to play. What?
It's alright. Maybe I know what happens. They don't have clocks, so they don't know what time is it. And they
Right, that's why I post the clock. That's why we have a stopwatch.
Alright.
So we are exceeding our need to play. That makes sense.
Does it say up there?
Yes, it does.
I think for the time being, we'll have controlled brain breaks. So you will not have choice during your brain breaks anymore. No choice during brain breaks anymore. No choice during brain breaks anymore until I feel like you're responsible enough to be here on time and care about our learning and your learning. Because right now we don't. Yeah, we'll do something like that.
But if we don't want to dance,
You need to be in the classroom, and I will guide you and make sure you're ready and responsibility away from you.
Mister, I have a question. But we can do something in the class, right?
No, I will organize it. You either do what I've asked you to do, or you can sit and relax, whatever your choice is. But whatever you chose to do today did not get you here on time. So choice is gone, everybody. And I know you need choice, too. But you also need independence, which I'm giving you. But you're taking advantage of that independence and showing that you do not care about the rest of this class or your learning by your actions. You're showing you just don't care about yourself and what you're learning. And I know most of you, it's like, it's better having fun with my friends, and I want to make sure that I have good friends and good friendship, and my learning can be on the backside because my friends are more important. I understand that on some level. I do. I get it. I understand it. But your friends aren't going to lead you down a path of greatness. Reading is. Writing is. Math is. You're going to be able to do whatever you want if you focus and you work. You're not going to be able to do anything you want if you play like, the whole time. There's just times to play, times to work. Okay? All right, so the 5 W's. Does anyone know what the 5 W's are? Talk to your team. What are the 5 W's? What does that mean?
Where, when, what, who, why.
What do you think? Sounds good? All right, 3, 2, 1. Ricardo, nail it. Who, what, where, when, why. 5 W's. Very important. Now, this is your, I didn't have that loaded. When we talk about starting a book, the beginning of books are, by and large, the most complex part of the book. And so we have to pay particular attention to things. All right, so when we are starting, we have to keep these kind of mental bulletin boards. And the information that we put up there are the 5 W's, the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. We have to start doing that work up front to make sure we understand. Because these first few chapters of these historical fiction books can get super complicated and overwhelming. We agreed we do not have things that distract us back here. Please put it away. You're not looking at me. You are looking at it. That itself then is a distraction. Yeah, but like remove yourself from the situation though, don't you think? Just so then I know. If you're sitting at your desk and I know you're stressed and you want to do that. Does that make sense? And then I know that you need to show me your learning at some other point than during this mini lesson. Okay? Like you're stressed right now, and I understand that. I respect that. And so you need to go to a place and kind of calm down. So I would say do it at your desk. So then I know that I have to make sure you've learned this some other way. Does that make sense? Because if you're doing that now, you're not going to learn this stuff, right? So I need to know what you're going to do later. Okay, so we're going to start a read aloud. It's called Number of the Stars. It is probably one of the best historical fiction books written for your age range in the history of mankind. It's written by Lois Lowry. She is a excellent author. Just so good. She's just very, very good. Very thoughtful. This is based, I'll read the back to you. Number of the Stars by Lois Lowry. 10-year-old Anne-Marie Johansson, and her best friend Ellen Rosen often think about life before the war. But it's now 1943, and their life in Copenhagen is filled with school, food shortages, and the Nazi soldiers marching in their town. The Nazis won't stop. The Jews of Denmark are being relocated, so Ellen moves in with the Johansons and pretends to be part of the family. Then Anne-Marie is asked to go on a dangerous mission. Somehow she must find the strength and courage to save her best friend's life. There's no turning back now. All right, so I'm going to start this read aloud, and I'm going to go through a process that you all should be doing with your books as well. Okay. Chapter 1 is titled, Why Are You Running? I'll race you to the corner, Ellen. Anne-Marie adjusted the thick leather pack on her back, but her school books balanced evenly. Ready? She looked at her best friend. Ellen made a face. No, she said, laughing. You know I can't beat you. My legs aren't as long. Can't we just walk like civilized people? She was a stocky 10-year-old, unlike lanky Anne-Marie. So I'm going to stop there because I've already learned some stuff about these two. Let's see. Anne-Marie, she's lanky. She is best friends with Ellen. And she likes to run. On the other hand, Ellen is stocky. She is best friends with Anne-Marie, and she is a hesitant runner.
One of them is Jewish.
Well, we don't know that now. We can kind of think on the back, maybe. But again, what did I go through? I read a little bit. I tried to pick out something that was important. I figured this on the who, and I started to put some details about them down. I did that in a boxes and bullets style. So that was the process. What I'm going to ask you to do now is I'm going to continue reading. And what we do as readers and writers, we start keeping track of a character. We start keeping track of an idea. That idea lasts throughout the book. We have to come back to it. Okay? So as I read, when you think there's a detail you should jot down, or maybe a new idea that's emerged, I want you to jot that down in your learning notebook. Okay? All right. We have to practice for the athletic meet on Friday. I know I'm going to win the girls' race this week. I was second last week, but I've been practicing every day. Come on, Ellen, Anne-Marie pleaded, eyeing the distance to the next corner of Copenhagen Street. Please? Ellen hesitated, then nodded and shifted her own rucksack of books against her shoulders. Oh, all right. I'm sorry, I don't understand how people can listen to a story when they're talking. I really don't understand that. I don't think it's possible.
What's the book?
Number of the Stars. Ellen hesitated, then nodded and shifted her own rucksack of books against her shoulders. Oh, all right, ready, she said. Go! Shouted Anne-Marie. And the two girls were off, racing along the residential sidewalk. Anne-Marie's silvery blonde hair flew behind her, and Ellen's dark pigtails bounced against her shoulders. Wait for me! Wailed little Kirsty, left behind. But the two older girls weren't listening. Anne-Marie outdistanced her friend quickly, even though one of her shoes came untied as she sped along the street called Oosterbrogade, past the small shops and cafes of her neighborhood here in northeast Copenhagen. Laughing, she skirted an elderly lady in black who carried a shopping bag made of string. A young woman pushing a baby in a carriage moved aside to make way. The corner was just ahead. If you haven't started adding details, you should now. There was plenty to write about there. Please go.
Is the name like?
It's one name, Anne-Marie. Here and there that was important that you need to add to your notes. What more details? There were plenty of details about Anne-Marie and Ellen there. If you're paying attention, you should have some details written down now from that read aloud. Number one way to keep things organized is boxes and bullets. You should have a pen at all times back here, writing utensil of some sort. Okay, at this point, I want you to work with your book club. I want you to compare each other's notes. Compare each other's notes. Do that work for me now, please.
So, I got baby first and
Best friend.
Hold on, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Now, I did not say for one person to read their notes and then another person to read their notes and then another. I asked you to compare your notes. I want you to look at your clubmates' notes to see what is similar about your notes. What are different? Is the way you kept them and organized the same or different? Compare and contrast your notes.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't even do it right.
Nothing.
I can finish that.
A secret.
You're gonna find out where he's gonna faint. In the middle of the race.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Now, I don't know if I noticed anyone. I don't know if anyone wrote anything down about Copenhagen, even though they listed a bunch of details about that. So be sure you're paying attention. It's the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. Okay? We probably should have added something about her blonde hair and Ellen's dark hair. If you didn't get those were two very important details that we read. So at this point, you should understand, am I paying attention or am I not? We are writing down details about characters. We are thinking about them. Okay? It's really important work at the beginning and all throughout. So when you're reading today, what's going to happen, you're going to have 30 minutes to read. And then you'll have a 10-minute, a little bit more. A little more time to read, about 35 minutes to read. You have about a 10-minute book club conversation. So that means you do not need to talk to your club during this time. You will have 10 minutes to talk to them at the end. So the expectations are you silent in your reading. If you find yourself unable to concentrate and unable to remain silent, you may go out into the hallway with your book. So you are not disturbing people. And then we can have a conversation about what you need to get refocused. Okay, I will be calling people to work with them, and I may even stop by your club. I'm not sure what today looks like. But you have important, big work to be doing. You need to be analyzing your book. You need to be thinking about the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. And you need to bring information to your book club today. I will ask you to do very specific things in your book club, and you also have choice in your book club. Okay? But I want to make sure you're doing some of the work. For example, I will ask you today to quickly sketch the setting when you get with your book club. So have in mind what your book looks like.
Can we sketch?
For your exit slip, please add not one of my details that I have written up here. Do not add one of those, but on a separate sheet of paper, write down one of the newer details that you wrote down and turn that into a canister. Okay? So that's the exit slip, writing a detail you wrote down on a piece of paper, turning it into a panel.
Okay.
Please, somebody give me a sticky note.
All right, your 30 minutes of reading time has almost already started here.
Anna Marie and who?
Marie.
Ellen.
Marie and Ellen. Ellen. What was the last who? Where?
Who else? Okay. And there's the sixth one is how.
There are 6.
Yeah, 5 W's and 1 A. Were you here Friday? Miss Kaylin? What book, Tomas asked you what book are you guys reading? Sarah, it's almost finished.
Miss Light.
Again, at this point, you should be reading. Reading what? Your book club book? Ladies and gentlemen, one thing about book club books, if you go ahead of someone, you may ruin the book for them. So if you have a guide, if you have a guide as to when how much you need to be done by, and you get done with that, that's when extra books come in. So we have other books in here. I'll get some more historical fiction, so you can read the second book. Do not go ahead of your group.
No, you had it in the floor, and you picked it up. Okay.